As most people are focused on the short-term price action right now for Bitcoin and crypto, there was actually something massive that happened yesterday. I'm going to go over everything in this video, guys, why this is huge. I'm going to talk about the massive stuff in regards to MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor as well yesterday. Is he going to sell Bitcoin or not? That was the #1 question that people were asking yesterday when he posted. We are about to see more green dots on this chart. Today I'm going to explain everything, whether this is a big risk, what I believe is going to happen here moving forward, and much more, guys. So make sure to stick around from the beginning until the end of this video. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day. If you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. So let's get straight into it, and let's kick it off here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. And you can see that after yesterday's massive red candle towards the downside, we're seeing a little bit of a green candle here. So that's at least a little bit promising. Also, what we can see is that we have made a higher low. So that's a decent sign. Now we need to see follow through with this, guys. Because remember, we also kind of saw higher lows here as well. So you saw this low, you saw this low. And then ultimately, we still had another leg downward. So we need to see follow through. This was not enough for us to take us up towards higher prices in this kind of situation. But let's see this time around. We're at much lower prices right now. Of course, the lower we go, the closer we are going to be at the bottom. So that's good. And I still believe that any kind of drop here to accumulate Bitcoin at lower prices is definitely something that I am going to be looking into. So I'm looking for that. I am looking for if we can see follow through for this trend right here. I am prepared for volatility in the midterm and in the short term, but I do believe that 2026 is going to be a good year for Bitcoin. So let's see, guys. If you look at Ethereum, same thing here for Ethereum. After a big red candle, a little bit of a green candle, traditional markets are seeing decent price action. I mean, we did see the drop the day before, but today we're slowly grinding a little bit lower. But overall, the traditional markets look strong here. If you look at gold as well, gold also looks pretty strong. You can see this trend right here. So you can see boom, bouncing off of this level, wanting to move up higher. And also even this price action right here, when we actually went down and retested the orange box right here. And then from this point, you can see that we had a nice pump towards the upside. So we did go down and test this orange box on the way down. So that's good to see. So we didn't break down below it, which shows us that this is very strong support for gold. And yeah, things are a bit crazy right now because Bitcoin and crypto really is not performing that well compared to the rest of the market. We wanted to see follow through. We wanted to see Bitcoin go up higher after the traditional markets had a massive run. And the gold price also had a massive run. But I do think that that's going to come eventually. But right now, a lot of people have PTSD from the big drops that we've been seeing, especially in altcoins. That's why I've been saying, be careful with altcoins. Bitcoin is the asset that I'm looking to accumulate long term. But with altcoins, we do have massive unlocks happening every single day. So there's not enough optimism, there's not enough speculation or will to speculate in the market right now. So the unlocks are not being absorbed, which means that we are slowly grinding down lower for altcoins. So I would stay away from altcoins, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, these three coins is what I am looking to accumulate right now. Okay, so yesterday, this was huge. So Vanguard, they are shifting their stance. As you know, guys, they were very critical towards Bitcoin and crypto, and they have $10 trillion in assets under management. They are now allowing Bitcoin ETFs to be traded. Now, the timing of this is very important because we are seeing lower prices in the market compared to a few weeks ago and a few months ago, of course. We're seeing lower prices, and for them, it does make sense for them to announce this right now as Bitcoin is at a lower price. And if they believe that we are somewhat close to a potential bottom here, then we could see their customers being happy, of course, buying right now, and then boom, moving towards the upside from here. So that is actually a bullish indication that Vanguard, they are opening up Bitcoin ETF trading. Now, this is also huge because it shows us like a shift of the stance here. So from being critical to being now bullish because they saw how much money BlackRock and these other crypto companies are making. So that is all great. And are we still in a bear market? The second largest brokerage in America flips its policy from sell only to allowing crypto ETF purchases. And no one is fired up. This is the key thing. Whether people are stoked right now or not, crypto is rapidly entering the mainstream. So because people are not fired up, this shows us the pessimism. Just imagine how big of an effect this would have just like a year ago. It would have a massive effect. People would be so bullish, but now we're not even seeing a decent bounce here for Bitcoin, just a small green candle. So yeah, keep that in mind. And also the big one, of course, yesterday was, what does it mean for Michael Saylor to go out and say, what if we start adding green dots here on the chart? There was a lot of speculation. Is he going to announce that he is selling Bitcoin, that he is acquiring other treasury companies? We now have the answer. So MicroStrategy has announced that they now also have a $1.4 billion reserve and an increase in its Bitcoin reserve to 650,000 Bitcoin. So he posted this one right here. And this is, of course, going to calm the markets down a little bit because there was a lot of fear that Michael Saylor, because he needs to pay dividends to the shareholders and for his financial products, he would need to sell Bitcoin. Well, now with the 1.4 billion, he is actually having almost 2 years worth of dividends that he is able to pay out right now. And he's looking to expand this even more. You can see it currently covers 21 months of dividends. So that is key. And there's two ways to look at this. It means that, but what's the point of a Bitcoin treasury if he's also going to hold USD? Well, for me, this is actually a good sign because this means that whatever money that he is having here on the sidelines, if we see a massive crash in Bitcoin, instead of the panic for MicroStrategy in regards to how they're going to pay off the dividends and them being at a very low valuation compared to how much Bitcoin they hold, for instance, this means that he don't have to stress that much because at the very least he has this reserve. And he can also use this reserve to buy Bitcoin at much lower prices instead of always buying at the exact top. So this is a good thing. And for me, I hope that MicroStrategy really don't buy too much more Bitcoin because they already have, I think, 3% of all Bitcoin right now. And for them to have like 5%, 7%, 10%, it really does become a massive systemic risk. So I hope that this is going to slow down a little bit. Maybe he can raise more USD. Hopefully Bitcoin sees a massive pump. So Bitcoin, and I think that that's going to be in 2026, of course, when the Bitcoin that he has purchased is all going to be at incredible profits, right? So while Michael Saylor has been doing so much good for Bitcoin, and he has been a big ambassador for Bitcoin and this whole treasury company thing, but now he has a lot of Bitcoin, and I hope that he is going to grow the USD reserve so that if Bitcoin goes down lower, he is ready to buy the dip. Now, also what he announced is something that made a lot of people fearful still, because here's the updated kind of thing that they are going to do here, the updated strategy, if you will. So for the USD reserve, if we are above the MNAV, he's going to issue equity to buy more Bitcoin, okay? Now, if we are below the MNAV, and it is currently below it a little bit, he's going to sell Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin derivatives. So this is very different from what he has been communicating previously, where he has been communicating that they are never going to sell Bitcoin, but this has changed. So again, this is why we want MicroStrategy to not continue buying Bitcoin at every single top and raising so much money to buy Bitcoin at the top. It's better he raises the money and he waits for a good buying opportunity to get in at a drop. So that is essentially my own strategy as well. Getting in here with my trading strategies, of course, at the lower prices, but also at very key levels. So if we see another significant drop here, I will be adding to my Bitcoin bag instead of buying every single time. He has been buying at the top. So that is all great. Now, yeah, there's like some criticism, like I said, in regards to this. What do you call it when you raise money? Because this $1.44 billion was raised from new investors to pay existing investors. So he's implying that this is a bit of a Ponzi. So I'm not saying that. Like I said, I think I explained it very well. I think it's good that he's raising money, but that he keeps it and waits for a dip, and then he has enough money to pay off the dividends as well, so he doesn't have to necessarily sell Bitcoin. That is great. Now, gold is making history. Gold prices returned 6% in November, marking the 4th consecutive monthly gain. This followed 3.7% in October. So gold has been doing incredibly well. We know that, but also look at this. Silver has been doing incredibly well. Now, if you look at silver, this candle, like this yearly candle, is absolutely ridiculous. For silver, it's gone up by, what is this, like, yeah, almost, yeah, about 100%. Now, if you look at the last time this happened, you can see it went up incredibly high right here as well in 1979. After that, we saw a big drop, and it took us, what is this, like 20 years, 25 years for us to reach the same level, right? Or even more. It took like 30 years for us to reach the same level. So keep that in mind, that even though silver and gold is doing extremely good right now, and I think that gold in particular is going to continue to do well over time, but Bitcoin at some point is going to absorb this liquidity as well. Now, the idea of Bitcoin being a store of value over a longer period of time, that is still holding true, because Bitcoin is still up tremendously compared to a few years ago, let's say. But it has been taking a little bit of a beating right now because gold and equities and everything has been going up so hard, while Bitcoin just recently has been going down. But if you zoom out, if you take like the last 3 years, or 2 years even, then we are still up incredibly much. So that is all great. Nothing has fundamentally changed for Bitcoin in my opinion. So I have no reason to change my thesis here in regards to where I think Bitcoin is going to go in the future. Guys, that is what I got for you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.